I am ready.
3, 2, 1.
Hello. And how are you on this lovely, sunny, sunny, uh, Thursday evening? I'm Angie, in case you didn't know. And this evening I'm going to be waffling about the solstice. Because it's this Sunday, in fact. I cannot believe we are at that point in the wheel of the year already. It's bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. So, for any of you that don't know what the solstice is, it's the point in what we call the wheel of the year when it's the longest day. So, it's the biggest amount of light that you will experience in the wheel of the year. Yeah. Um, some people call it by different names. So, some people call it midsummer. I used to go the whole hog and call it midsummer solstice because I like to. Some people call it the summer solstice or midsummer eve, even. There are all kinds of different names for it, but let's not get hung up on that, guys. Yeah. It's essentially the longest day. So if you take that literally, yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that it'll be sunny on Sunday because we're having high tea in the garden. Um, I do hope it's not going to rain. But if you take it literally, what that is, yeah, it's the biggest amount of light in the year, yeah. So take from that what you will, but essentially that is maximum illumination, is it not? Yeah. Obviously, being a pagan, there are quite a few different. No, it's all right. So, oh no, it's gone. Oh no, it's all right. The connection keeps pretending that it's dropping out. That's weird. Right, what was I going to talk about? I was going to talk about deities. Bear with me. Oh, where's it gone? No, no, no. Goodness sake. So I'm looking in my book. It's at the back of the book, that's why. So, deities associated with the midsummer, yeah, or the longest day. There are many. Just looking at the list here, it's a bit crazy. Let's see. Ones that you might have heard of. Athena is one of them. Hang on, no, that's the pages are falling out of this book. Other ones that you might have heard of: Indra, Sekhmet, who is very cool. Shekinah, interesting. Juno, Isis, Hathor, Tiamat. Now that's interesting because Tiamat, sorry, not Tiamat. Tiamat, Hathor hyphen Tiamat. That's interesting. Freya. Who else do we have? Bear with me while I scan. Kali as well. Mab or Maeve. Oh, well, she's the queen of the Fae. There you go. I learned something today. So I'd say all markers on the wheel of the year correspond to the Fae, but that's just me. But certainly Beltane is, and Midsummer is definitely. Why do I say that? Because everything is exploding life is, the energy is very high, I would say. So why do I link that with the Fae? Because of the Shining Ones. The Shining Ones, the Tuatha De Danann, are the Fae. Yeah. So anything that is to do with illumination and that very high energy, I would say, from my own personal experience, yeah, definitely corresponds to the Fae. So what gods do we have? We have Baal, Dagda. These are just examples. Gwydion, Lu. Some of these we work with. Helios. So you're getting the idea here. So there's a lot of solar deities in there. Yeah. Lu, yeah, the holly, the oak king. So there's a I'll tell you that in a minute. Hold on. Prometheus, Ra, Thor, Sol, Zeus. So it's big energy, yeah. In all these, in this massive list of deities, there's no there's not a deity in there that I would say isn't at the top of their game, if you like. Yeah. So yeah, the holly and the oak king. So there is, it's holly and oak, or it's the wren and the robin. So whichever one of those, you know, resonates more with you. So I'm going to go the robin and the wren. So at this time of the year, the robin and the wren duel. Yeah, a bit like night and day, the light and the dark. Yeah. So there's a duel between the two. And because after solstice, the light starts to wane. Yeah. It is the robin that wins on the summer solstice. On the winter solstice, it's the wren who wins the duel. Yeah. Interestingly, little side note, if you're out walking somewhere where there's lots of trees, and you find an oak and a holly and a hawthorn, all three, like creating what you could say is a portal. Yeah. It's really interesting to watch the two, because obviously the holly is evergreen. The oak, most oak trees aren't. There are a few that are evergreen. But you can see there how it plays out in nature, in the holly and the oak. Yeah. The hawthorn is just an added bonus because that's the tree of the Fae. Okay. But you can certainly see how that plays out with the oak and the holly. Yeah. So that's just about the deities. Let me go back in this book, because this, I've got a really cool book. It is called, it's called Sabbats by Edane McCoy. And it's just a really cool book that gives you different ways that you can mark the eightfold year. Yeah, the wheel of the year. So yeah, midsummer, summer solstice is the pinnacle of illumination, the pinnacle of that very high energy. Yeah. So you'll already be seeing, I have no doubt, everything's in flower. Most things are in flower. Some of the things in our garden are a bit late, but that's okay. Fashionably late is fine. But already on the horse chestnuts outside, pardon me, the conkers are already forming. So you can see that high energy. So the tree is a really good example of that high energy. Yeah. So I mean, most trees are fruiting by now as well. So it's already reached. So the the pinnacle, if it's some kind of a fruiting tree, and I mean nuts as well as fruit, yeah, or flowers. So the pinnacle of the energy of that plant, tree, whatever, is the fruit or the flower. Yeah. Everything is put into creating that. That's like the ultimate expression of that plant or tree. Yeah. So already we're seeing the horse chestnuts, which they're tiny, they're really cute. They're really tiny, but they're there. Yeah. On the, I don't know about the cherry trees because the pigeons usually get those before they've even done anything. On the bramble in our garden, there's already fruit forming. On the jasmine in the garden, we've already got the flowers. In fact, some of them have already gone over. So for some of the jasmine, because we've got two different types of jasmine in our hedge, so some of them are still open and going, and some of them have already started to go over. So I find that quite interesting. So different plants clearly work with different solar energy times, if that makes sense. Oh, there we go. Okay. The hollyhocks that we've got in our garden have just started. They've just opened. So again, what that tells you is that there's a pinnacle. And so it's building up to this, or to Sunday's energy. Yeah. Maximum illumination, maximum energy. Yeah. So after that, things start to wane again. Yeah. It's spirals within spirals within spirals. Yeah. So I think that's really cool. So it's the height of the sun's power, which is why, obviously, there's a lot of solar deities in, the pantheons that you can work with at that time, at this time. Sorry. So there's definitely, a card that would pertain to this time of year would be the Empress, because she's usually depicted as pregnant with lots of abundance around her. So this is, the bounty that is either reaching its pinnacle, or, some crops we know don't kind of reach that pinnacle until maybe July, August. Yeah. So that's different crops working with different energies. Because things like grains, well, wheat, well, I'll definitely say wheat. I don't know about other grains, but wheat, you don't harvest it until it's gone like a golden color. So it's gone over. Yeah. Does that make sense? Hope that makes sense. So one of the things, because there's a big solar word, a big solar nod, yeah, at this time, there are different ways that you can, tap into this energy. So there, you can make something like a solar cross, for example, which you can actually weave that. Either with long grasses, or you could weave it with thread, entirely up to you. Obviously, sun, fire makes sense, doesn't it? So I don't know, Beltane for me is more fire than Midsummer. Yeah. Because it's the blessing and the cleansing of everything, basically. Yeah. But this is maximum illumination, maximum energy. So, okay, maximum fire then. Okay. It's highly transformative because it is the very visceral elemental. Yeah. You can, I don't know, I mean, you could argue that the others are equally as visceral. But I think because fire has been part of our story for such a long time, I think that's the one that most people would say is the most visceral, if that makes sense. Yeah. So fires, balefires, again, like Beltane. Yeah. But equally, it doesn't have to be a massive balefire. You can use candles. In fact, a few years ago now, when we were before all the shit hit the fan in 2020, we were doing regular gatherings for sabbats and moons and things. And one year, I found somewhere, I can't remember what it is. It's a like a bowl in the shape of a sunflower. Perfect. Yeah, our sunflowers haven't flowered yet. They keep being eaten by snails. But I'm hopeful that they might make an appearance by Sunday, but maybe not. I think they're a bit late to the party again. So yeah, I found this bowl that was shaped like a sunflower, and what we did is we did an intention setting for to tap into this very high solar energy. We set intentions with. I can't believe I did this. Things I used to do. I made beeswax floating candles. So this is something you can do. So just get a bowl, water. I did sprinkle marigolds in there as well because that's a very much a solar energy flower, marigolds. And then as we set our intention, we just place the little floating beeswax candle in the water in this bowl. And it was stunning. And someone took a photo of it, and it was beautiful. So, it can be anything really that represents the sun, solar power, literally solar power, fire, and there are certain colors as well for this time of year. And again, you only really have to look outside of your window unless you're living in a concrete jungle. We've got the very green, everything is very, very green at the moment. We've got all those very vivid colors of flowers going on out there. We've got, don't forget the sky. The color of the sky at the moment is blue, and so it should be, because as Andy said earlier, we are in the summer after all. So yeah, obviously fiery colors, oranges, reds, yellows, and I would even say like the color of gold, that kind of thing, all to kind of tap into the energy of midsummer. Yeah. I would also say, because the Sabbats are a time, so most witches don't do magic on any of the Sabbats. Yeah. It's more of a celebration, so coming together with people, and you might hold a ceremony, but there's no magic involved. It's usually to give thanks, and our pagan ancestors would have done that because they would have been relying on what the land produces. Yeah. So I think it's also a time of sharing what you have, whether in whatever way, shape or form that is, with the people that mean the most to you. Definitely. What else do we have? I don't know if they do the torchlit processions. It was usually around Lewis in Sussex where they would do this. I'm not sure if that's a midsummer thing or not. I'm not entirely sure. But again, it makes sense because it's fire. Yeah. I think they do it in places in Kent as well, but I don't know. I only because I used to live in Sussex, so I know that was a thing, but I can't remember if that was a midsummer thing or not. Interestingly, what a surprise! Midsummer, obviously, it was hijacked by the Abrahamics. Twice, actually, believe it or not. One was St. John's Day. The other was, I think, St. Patrick's Day, but I'm not entirely sure. If anyone knows, give me a shout. And obviously, this was done to, look over here, nothing to see over there. You naughty pagans over there. What else do we have here? Oh, hang on. I think there it is. Oh, blimey. Do you know, I remember this word from when I was a child, Whit Sunday. Do you remember that, guys? Holy crap on a cracker. Wow. The 50th 50 day after Easter, apparently. So there we go. So that's St. John's Day. Is it St. John's Day? St. John's Day. So forget about St. Patrick's Day because I got that mixed up. And then Whit Sunday. So that is, 2 ways that they tried to divert attention from midsummer, from the summer solstice. Although I think there's so much publicity, the media get hold of it, around the solstices and, wherever people are gathering, it's even here we go. There we go. We're back. Even the normies, couldn't help but notice there's something going on today. What is it? Oh, all the druids are over there. It must be midsummer or in the winter. Must be winter solstice. Oh, okay. If you're into herbs, strange noise. If you're into herbs, lavender is a really good one for midsummer, and so is vervain, which is really cool because we got both growing in our garden now, so that's very cool. Pine cones were gathered as well for protection, fertility, and virility. That's very cool. And I've done this. Don't know what that is beeping. No idea. I know our cooker's on the fritz at the moment, so I don't know if it's doing its own thing in the kitchen, probably. High energy, see, fire. Can't deal with it. This was a few years ago now, and we were building a relationship with the trees in our little tiny, it's only a 1 acre woods that we've got just at the back of us. And we would ask the trees. So there's 2 Austrian pine trees in there, and they are magnificent. They really are. And past them, we'd ask them for a pine cone. Not one that the squirrels have been having a go at, because you get a half chewed one. It's like, no, that's not what I want. So we would ask the trees for pine cones, and literally it would either be at that point, one would drop right in front of us, or we'd come back and there'd be one on the floor. So you can have that conversation with trees. Back to trees again, I know. But yeah, for pine cones. And one year, Yes, one year we bought, and in fact that tree is outside in the front garden now. We bought a live, I don't know what type of Christmas tree it was, a Norway something I think, and we decorated it with pine cones and bits of bark and things like that, which was really, really cool. It was only little. It was only maybe 2 foot high as a little baby tree. You know, here we go again. Okay, and I'm back. So yeah, that was really cool. So you can decorate your tree when it comes around to winter solstice. You can decorate your tree with pine cones that you pick up now. Yeah. They might be covered in sap. I'll tell you that right now. But yeah. What else do we have? Oh, look at this. Herbs. Oh, other herbs. Oh, we've got lots of herbs and spices and things. So I'll just give you a few. I'm not going to go into. So if you are doing I mean, there's nothing to stop you doing magic on the solstice, obviously. It's just not normally something that pagan witches would do because it's a celebration. It's not a time necessarily for magic, but you know, you can work around that time if you wanted to. So we've got apple, for example, to do with fertility because you have the seeds and the pentagram in the middle of the apple. Basil for purification and protection. Bay for purification. Bay is actually really good if you're setting intentions. You write your intention on the bay leaf and burn it. It's amazing. What else do we have? Chamomile for prosperity. So again, we have maximum energy. Yeah. So obviously, the time of when you work this magic would depend. So, for example, chamomile. Yeah. If you were using that for prosperity magic, you would do that a little bit. It keeps going off and on. My silly phone. Pardon me. So if you were doing prosperity magic with chamomile, for example, you would do that a little bit before the solstice, so it then builds. Yeah. If you were doing, let's have another example. For example, hang on, let me. What have we got? Energy. No, let's have something that relief of headaches. Okay. So if you were golden seal, that is. So if you were doing magic around that, you'd do it after the peak of that energy when it's on a waning stage so that your headaches decrease. Yeah. Does that make sense? But there are many herbs. Hibiscus is another one. Honeysuckle. Hyssop. Mugwort, one of my favorites. Oak. I'll tell you what they haven't got in here. They haven't got wormwood. That's another really good one. If you plant wormwood in your garden, by the way, nothing will grow around it. So if you're going to plant wormwood, plant it in a separate container. Okay. Peppermint, red clover, rosemary. Oh, thank you. My tea has arrived. Thank you, Ian. What else? Valerian. Willow bark, wheat. There you go. Wheat got in there, didn't it? It got in there. So what else do we have? Oh, here's one for you, Andy. Walking sticks and stangs. So, oh, there we go again. Is it going to go back on? I don't know. Let me put my other internet on. Let's see. There we go, and I'm back. So a stang is slightly different to a walking stick. So we all know what a walking stick looks like, yeah? Well, a stang has, it looks like the old crutches, yeah? So it either has a V in the top or it has like a U shape in the top. And essentially what that's for me personally, because I've got something that's somewhere in between the two. It's kind of got a tick. So it's not quite a V and it's not quite a U, but my thumb fits perfectly in that space, so I can use it as, I could use it as a walking stick, but I prefer to use it for magical purposes. When I am casting a particular type of circle called a compass. Oh, it's gone again. And it's back again. Dear, it's a bit like our silly cooker, off again and on again. So yeah, the stang is a two-pronged staff, if you like. Which, you could use it for just general walking, or you can use it for magical purposes, which is what I use my stang stroke walking stick for. If you're going to use a walking stick for magical purposes, so it'd be a stang, one of the things you can do, just a little side note, is you can, now I bought some handmade iron nails, and I banged it into the bottom of my stang so that it conducts energy. So when I use it for creating a compass circle, it acts as a conduit, because iron conducts energy, which is really cool. I suppose our ancestors at this time would be looking at what's growing, yeah. How's the harvest gonna kind of turn out? I suppose they would tweak things. They would still have time to tweak those things before harvest, unless there's any early crops that would be being harvested right now. God, that was a big sentence. What else? Oh, here we have some stuff about the Fae. What a surprise. Okay, I'm just going to read this little bit because I love reading about the Fae. They're amazing. Fairies, or the Fae, like other beings, need food and for sustenance. And in fairy tales around the world, a common thread of nourishment is prevalent. Leaving out food for the little people at midsummer is as common as practice in some places as setting out bird feed in winter. So things that you can leave out. They love sweet things. Yeah, anything sweet is good. But things like wine are also very much appreciated. Bread, obviously, is a staple. Interesting. In Russia, it's an old folk custom to never scold a child who has spilt milk, for this should be seen as a gift to the Fae, and scolding would make it seem as if it were being given grudgingly. Which leads to the old thing, don't cry over spilt milk. There we go, that's why. So if you don't want to keep this coming back, going out, coming back. So if you prefer, what you can do with the Fae, oh, it's going again. Going again. Are you coming back? Are you coming back? Are you coming back? There we go. And we're back in the room. And it's gone again. How ridiculous. Let me turn off that one. Is that going to work? No, let's turn that one back on. Oh, yeah. You've got to love Telegram, haven't you? Okay, let's turn that off. No, okay, let's leave and come back. Nope. That's not doing anything now. Right, let's go out. What have I got internet-wise? Bear with me, folks. Telegram is very hinky, to say the least. Let's try it on the normal internet. Connected. Yeah. Let's put that back on, see if that works. No, it's not connecting. That's a bit annoying. Okay, let's leave Telegram. Come back in. And my phone is on. Okay, battery saver, thank you. Is it gonna? No. Nope. All right, I'll carry on. It might connect on Telegram. I don't know. So one of the things you can do is, if you don't want to like set aside something particular, is you can set aside part of your meal for the Fae. But certainly put some in a... So do it with intention, yeah? Don't just chuck it out and throw it out like you do for the foxes, yeah? So put it in a bowl, put it somewhere that is, I don't know, sacred to you, yeah? I would do that rather than just throwing it out like you throw things out for the foxes, yeah? All right, let's see if I can get back in there. Well, that's weird. It's doing very strange things now. You gotta love Telegram. All right, let's try it again. What else do we have? Okay, try again. No. So we did the sun. We did floating candles. We did the sun wheel. Dream pillows are good as well. No, it's still not doing it. It's very annoying. So dream pillows, you can use mugwort to make a dream pillow. So what do I mean by dream pillow? Well, you can kind of set your intention for it to enable your dreams to be remembered. Yeah. So you can set that intention to be able to remember your dreams, or even to dream, what do they call that?
Brown Bobby Munchen, but are they? Yeah, there's someone else.
Woohoo! Apparently, yes. Don't know why it's done that. It's changed my name.
Yep, perfect. Mine started doing that the other day. I had to manually change it back.
Telegram is
Still coming back, mate. There's
very
5,
weird.
6, 7. You'll be good to go.
Good to go. Can everybody hear us?
I'll leave you with it, mate.
Cheers, Jamie.
Speak to you soon.
Ta-ra for now.
Bye.
Right, Angie,
Yes.
I don't know what happened there. I was just explaining to Jamie that
No idea.
When stuff like this happens, I'm the last one to get on. But I was making people are leaving again. I seem to have a good strong connection. It's not me.
Wow. It's very weird, isn't it, how it suddenly goes like that? Mind you, mine was going off and on all the time, so
Right.
very strange.
Maybe it's the sun.
Yeah, it could be. We're coming up to very high energy.
It is,
Which
I
kind of,
agree, Andy. I think it is the sun. We're getting a lot of technical problems with people and computers, and the whole of reality is collapsing at the moment. There's lots going on with the sun, so yeah.
mm-hmm.
We'll have some of that.
It's not good though, because I've got to buy a new bloody cooker now.
What do you mean? You didn't say you got to buy a cooker or find your cooker?
No, like buy a new cooker. It's a bit annoying.
Oh. Why do you have to buy a new cooker?
Because I don't know what's wrong with our old one. The fan oven's gone on it, so it's like the amount electricians charge these days just to come and look at something. You might as well buy a bloody new one.
I can highly recommend a desktop stainless steel air fryer oven.
No, I don't like air fryers. I bake and do stuff like that, Andy. I need a proper oven.
No, it is an oven. It's an air fryer oven.
Yeah, I don't like air fryers.
Ah, right.
I can't fry me scones in it. I've got to make scones.
You can bake in them. I've got a baking setting, a roasting setting. It's got trays in it. It doesn't look like an air fryer. It looks like an oven.
Yeah.
I've baked oat biscuits in it on a little tray. Experimented with that. It's cracking. It's not as powerful as the old air fryer that I had. That was an actual air fryer. It's not as powerful as that, but it definitely, for me, for somebody who lives on their own and just wants bits and pieces doing it, but I can now do lasagna in it, whereas I couldn't, obviously, in my old air fryer, because it wasn't enough lasagna, Woo.
Yeah. I still. I wish it hadn't done it now. Yeah, if it had done it after the weekend, I wouldn't have had a problem. But it's like, damn it. Yeah.
So do you want to carry on then? Do you want to pick up where you left off, Angie?
I was talking about the Fae, wasn't I? So
yeah.
one of the things we do is we just set aside. So if you want to make an offering to the Fae, and obviously Queen Mab is one of the deities you can work with at this time of the year, is you can set aside part of your meal, put it in a bowl and put it somewhere in the garden that is kind of private, I would say. And yeah, don't just chuck it out like you throw things out to the foxes. Do it with intention, yeah, if you're going to make an offering to the Fae. Other things that you can do, so dream magic is something you can definitely work on around this time. Lucid dreaming, or remembering your dreams are two things that you can work on by making a dream pillow. So all you're doing with a dream pillow is you get a bit of fabric, you put some mugwort in there, and I'd probably say dry it a little bit first, and then put it so under your head, but in the actual pillowcase of your main pillow. Yeah, the intention and see what happens. Because I would say that, people talk about Beltane and Samhain. maybe the solstice. Some people say the veil is thin around the solstice. I think it definitely is. I think the veil is thin at all times in the wheel of the year because they're all kind of portal energy. But I'd say that they'd be even thinner now with everything that is going on in the world, So that's why dream magic and working with the Fae is kind of high on my list of things, I would say. What else do we have? Is there anything else? I don't think so. I think that was pretty much it, really, on the solstice. There was something else. Weddings. Now, that's really interesting because, the solstice is a time of kind of high energy, that kind of idea of the Empress. Yeah, so things that are just about to go poof. Yeah. Interesting, isn't it? That a lot of weddings happen in around this time of the year. I find that quite interesting. Although in this country, it might just be that you got more of a chance of a sunny day, but it's not guaranteed. So yeah, did anyone have anything they wanted to ask or, talk about the solstice?
I've got a quick ponder. Clearly, then, if the 21st, if that's the longest day of light, is the preceding and following night equal length in darkness?
Say that again.
Is it safe to assume that on the longest day, the night before and the night after are both the same length of night?
Well, that's a good question. Maybe. I would have to go to my moon app because that gives me... I don't know. When you say night, do you mean like sunset to sunrise? Because that's not quite darkness, is it?
Well, yeah, so we call it the longest day. So is the previous night and the following night the same length?
Possibly. That's a very interesting question there, Andy.
I would logically, sort of like thinking about it quickly, you'd think that yes, it would, because from the night before, that is the shortest night, you've got then the longest day, then does the following night lose a tiny bit, even if it's only like 30 seconds, or is it the same length as the night before the longest day? And then obviously after that, each night gets slightly longer and longer and longer. Just as previous to the longest day, the summer solstice, the nights are getting shorter and shorter and shorter.
Interesting question. I might have to go and do a bit of research on that. Length of night either side of solstice. Because then the same would be said, wouldn't it, in the winter solstice, which is the longest night. So with the day either side of that
be the shortest equally.
Yeah, interesting. I like that. It does kind of make sense, doesn't it? Because, if something it peaks and it's coming back down the other side, then that makes sense, doesn't it? That either side of that peak, there would be an equilibrium.
You would think so, yes. But as I've learned over the years, never assume.
Absolutely.
So that's why I thought I'd just throw it out there and ask.
Yeah, good question. Did anyone else have anything they wanted to share or ask about the solstice? Is anyone celebrating on Sunday? Is anyone marking the occasion?
Well, I'm hoping to have a fire if it doesn't rain. That's my plan. A very large collection of bits and pieces of wood, and it's not diminishing because I've not had a fire for quite a while, and I need to have a fire. So as long as it doesn't rain and no one's got the washing out, I will be having a fire. Cool.
I like that. We might have a little fire. We got some homemade sage sticks, which burn quite nicely in the chimney, actually. I think it's going to be nice. Well, down here anyway. It's going to be sunny, apparently. So you might be lucky, Andy. You might be having a fire.
So.
Cool. Is anyone else marking the occasion on Sunday? It's all quiet. Oh dear. Do I have any last requests?
Have you got any final words of wisdom, Angie?
Final words of wisdom. Oh, okay. Here we go. Here's something. It was believed, it says, before the time of the Christians, that fire would help keep the sun alive, and that the blessing of water wells would continue their flow to nurture the parched earth. Without sun and water, there would be no crops, and all would perish. One of the most popular customs that grew out of the early fertility rites, which would have carried on from Beltane to now, because this is a time when everything's just beginning or just about to go pop, was that of jumping or leaping over the bonfire. So like Beltane, it's the same kind of idea. And the idea was that the higher you jumped, the higher the crops would grow. And I like that. So if you're not doing anything else on Sunday, get on a trampoline. That's what I say. Get on a trampoline. There we go.
Get on a trampoline. I will. Do you want me to stop it there?
Yeah, I think so. Trampoline is a good word.
And we've stopped there. Fantastic.
Yeah, that's quite amazing. Yeah, and that makes sense. The sun and the water. Yeah, very, very interesting. So the books I was reading from are Celebrating Wiccan Spirituality. I wouldn't worry too much about the title. It's more of a the eightfold year and bits in between. Is what I would have called it that. It's a lot better than Celebrating Wiccan Spirituality. It's a bit boring. And then we have Sabbats by Edane McCoy. Two really cool books that give different ideas. I mean, one of the other things, of course, which I'm hopefully going to be doing, I only have one little oven left now, my little top oven. So if I do bake scones in it, I'm going to be there all day baking scones. Rather than be able to do 3 batches at a time, I can only do 1. But baking, bake something, yeah. Do some baking for Sunday, for the solstice.
Good idea. Yeah.
And then obviously, if you haven't got friends around, you have to eat it all yourself. Sorry, Jackie?
Hi, Andy.
Hey, Jackie.
Yeah, it's an excellent idea. I think I'll do that. I'm going to bake on Sunday.
Cool. Love that.
Thank you.
When I get the show forwarded over now and post it up.